I'm Jo, I'm the Deputy Manager here, and I'm just going to have a little chat to you today about our enrichment induction. Some of you may think, what is enrichment? We used to call our volunteers who came to see the cats cat cuddlers, but nowadays we think more about what do the cats need, what do the cats want us to do for them, rather than us wanting to just cuddle cats. So, when you first arrive for your enrichment with the cats, you come over to our notice board and we've got some information. You'll have who you are going to see that day. The staff will choose the cats that need to be seen because they know how the cats are in care and what their needs are. So please don't be offended if you're not seeing the cat that you really like, because it's about, again, what the cat wants, and you'll be asked to see certain cats. And there may be also a plan of what to do when you're with them too. So we'll go into that in a moment. And then we've got about different types of enrichment. We're thinking about keeping them comfortable. It could be their bedding, their food, toys, something to scratch on, something they can go to toilet in, and something they can hide in. Because at the end of the day, it's caring for their basic welfare needs. So all sorts of things that we can then talk to you about and get you to understand the different ways of how you can use these things to make the cats' lives better while they're in care. Okay. Right, so now we're in our section called holding. So they have smaller pens than the homing block. So why is enrichment important? And we're going to think of it with a little pen. When the cats come in here, they've lost their owner, they've lost their home. They may have also lost friends of other pets that they might have had, like a dog, that they're obviously not here with a dog, or even their neighbours. They might have always visited the neighbouring house. And, you know, that's a lot of change. And then they're put in a little box, which doesn't smell of home, surrounded by other cats. So if you think about how much stress is involved in that, we have to try and reduce that stress, because if we're highly stressed for a long period of time, that's when our immune system drops and we're susceptible to disease, virus, and we don't want anyone getting poorly while they're with us. So it's important to give them everything they need in their small little space, so they have somewhere to hide, they've got somewhere to go to the toilet, they've got their food. And I'm thinking, I can't see anybody in there. So we want to give them all their basic needs close to each other. So if they feel like they're too scared to move, they've got it all handy. But we've also got to think about what else do they need? What do they want while they're in here? They can't have the choice to just go and leave. So we have to think about what they would need. Now, cats need to scratch. So our cats get a scratching post, which will be in the run. They need to go to the toilet, and if they're scared, we give them a litter tray close by, as well as out in their run. We give them toys, which we have a few here. But we also don't want to overwhelm them. So when it comes to spending time with them, and I'll go next door where there is a pussycat, we've got to think about our own body language. Are we really excitable and noisy? Because is a nervous cat going to want that? No. So we've got to think about, we've got to be calm, we've got to be quiet, we've got to be patient, and we've got to not expect anything, because the cat may not want to see us. Hello there. Hello, Marty. Here he comes. Hello. Hello.
You can see a little bit of interest.
So it's always let the cat come to you. So I offer my hand, he wants to smell it. But sometimes it's not about coming to see you, they see an open door and they want to escape. There's not a lot of space here. So what you don't want to do is get right in, because you're going to scare the cat, you're going to frighten the cat, you're invading its space. He's interested, but you're going to say no? He's not coming, so I'm not going to force it. I'm going to stand, I'm going to talk to him and let him relax while he tries to understand what's going on here. Hello. Hi. So he's had a sniff of me. And he's now letting me, hello.
There's also the noise of a bird going across the ceiling, so it's not always what you're doing. There could be things going on around that will startle the cat as well.
Good boy. So again, I'm not thinking, he doesn't know me. I've met him before because he's new, but I'm not stroking him down his back and up his tail and trying to do lots of things. I'm just letting him have a little rub at his own time, what he feels happy with. Hi. Hi, good boy. And I'm watching his body language all the time. I can see his tail is down. He's still very unsure, even though he's enjoying a little head rub. Hello. But he's very unsure what's going on. The seagulls are crying, and there is no purring. He's very unsure. So if I went straight in and picked him up and gave him a big stroke, he'd be totally frightened and unhappy, and that would put him off for the next person that comes in. So small, calm movements. He's choosing to rub me rather than me rub him. Hello. And I would stand here for a few minutes and let him do it. And then if he backed away, I'll close the door. So we've got a poster here. What are cat-friendly interactions? Now it's C, provide the cat with choice and control. Because most of the time in care, they don't have that. They can't go where they want to go. They can't choose when they eat. They can't choose when they play or be seen. So giving them some choice and control rather than pinning them down and hugging them when they don't want it. Pay attention to the cat's behaviour and body language. That is so important because cat's body language is so subtle. So it's a good idea to have a read, get yourself familiar with what you should be looking out for, because the amount of times when you do get a scratch or a nip, it could be because the cat's been telling you for the last 5 minutes it had enough, but you haven't seen the right signals from the cat. And of course we've got the touch. And if you can see from this picture, and we all know when a cat likes to rub round us and have its head tickled, that is the place where they are most comfortable, and then they enjoy a stroke on the back. But there are certainly places we know they don't like. If you don't like their feet being touched, most cats don't like their tummy being rubbed. There is always an exception, but if you, quite honestly, if you do that, be prepared for the claws to come round and to be grabbed. So we've also got some other pictures here about body language and what they mean. So if you've got a social role, it is a greeting, it's not an invitation to rub the belly. So when you come in, have a good look at this, and we can even give you copies if that's what you'd like to go home and learn some more about this, because there's lots of information available on the Cats Protection site with the behaviour guide. So we've got all sorts of things which are the sort of the happy body language, and then we've also got stressed faces, which are hard to distinguish when you don't know what you're looking for. And then we've got the whole body of body language. So there's lots of information, so you can be well prepared about what you're looking for when you're spending time with the cats. So here we are in one of the outside runs. We have our beautiful Gaston. So it's a good idea, most cats, it's to spend the time with them in the outside run. Because there's more space, they don't feel like you're invading their small territory indoors. There's room to move, there's room to use a toy and have a play, which I can't see on. And there's even a chair. And if you're lucky, a cat may come and sit on your lap. But we've also got room for more enrichment, which Gaston loves his box. I didn't realise he was in it when I came in, and he jumped out and said hello. And he's got little holes he's been putting his paws through and playing with. So it's... Oh,
he's coming.
Come on then. In he goes. Cats can't resist a cardboard box. So it's a good idea to make sure you see them in the right place for
good
that
boy.
cat. But most of the time, if you can see them outside, it makes life so much better. Good boy, Gaston. Hey? But there are some cats that may not want to go outside, may be frightened of the noise, the wind. sometimes people walking back and forth, neighbouring cats. So at that point, there'll be cats that stay indoors or may even be taken to another place for their enrichment. But a lot of the time, we like the cats to stay in their own pen because they feel safe and secure there. Good boy. Now we're heading into the quiet zone, so we better be quiet. So we do put radios on. I've just turned it off so you can hear me, but we put radios on so cats can have some background noise so they don't feel it's completely silent, but we do try to make sure it's the right type of music and calm and soothing for them. So the quiet zone, the name speaks for itself, but it's for cats that are really struggling with the cattery environment. Now if we can, a cat that is finding life difficult here will go into a foster home. But just sometimes we don't have enough fosterers on the books, we have too many cats that need it, so they have to stay here. So you'll see on the glass you have some staff only signs. That's to let the volunteers know that we'll deal with them because there may be some behaviour problems or some health problems that we're dealing with. But shall I give you an example? We have Jojo here who came in and he was very, very frightened. And the way he showed his fear was, hello.
He's being very cute now.
Was by being a bit, showing some aggressive behaviour. So he came in here where it was a bit quieter, calmer, so that he could adjust to his new situation. And he's so brilliant. He's chatty, he's friendly, he's purring. He likes to do roly-polies, don't you? Yes, good boy. So now we need to find him a home because he doesn't need to be here. I'll just say we have another example. Toby, he had a health concern, so he was in here so we could monitor him and we could make sure that the staff spent time with him. But he's doing really, really well and he has a potential home now. But this is what the quiet zone is all about. We could have really, really nervous cats that just need so much calmness and quiet, which the corridor through there doesn't give. And we may have mums and kittens sometimes that haven't been able to go into foster. I think there are a few kittens here left. They had an eye infection. There's one asleep down there, you can see. So you will be allowed, volunteers are allowed in here, but the staff will supervise and say which cats you can see, if there are some in here, and how to spend time with them. So this is our quiet zone. We're very lucky to have it. And yes, it's made good use of all the time.
There's an example there. Bit of guidance. They like to play and you could stroke them and play with them with a stick or dangle toy. So hands off, so that kittens learn not to play with hands.
So just going to point out that some pens do have a lot of information around them, and the staff will try and inform you what's going on with the cat, but please do take a moment to read anything, because sometimes there are instructions about what a cat can or can't have. We only gave Toby access to the run during the day and exercise in the corridor. He's been locked in at night because we were keeping an eye on his legs, and we didn't want him having an accident falling off the shelf at night, so he was locked in for that reason. We also have observation sheets where we're writing what he's eating, toileting, he's been wormed, he had a watery right eye. So if you observe anything and you're not sure, always inform a member of the team. If there's no one around, find a pen and write it on here so it's obvious, because it's very important to share information. Even if you're not sure whether it's important enough, if we know, we can decide that. But if we don't know, then we're not sure. We're not looking out for something that might be important, okay? So always read the signs. It could be, don't give me biscuits. It could be, I'm on a special diet. It could be, I'm allergic to something. So do keep an eye on the information by the pens.
Oh.
So we are in the boiler room, as it's affectionately known, because that's where all the boilers are. It's opposite the meet and greet office, which is the staff's office, and this is where we can keep lots of toys, combs, brushes, etc., which you will be able to come and help yourself if you go to a cat and it needs some things, more things for enrichment. So just as an example, I'll show you one of these. Although I would suggest we ask the staff before you put something like this in. But this is a good example of an enrichment puzzle feeder. So the cat has to get the biscuits out or try and put its paw through. So there's lots of different ways it gets the cat thinking of how to do things, and it's not just bolting the food down in one go. So there's lots of different puzzle feeders. So if the chart says the cat can have a puzzle feeder, there are several choices. I'll see if I can find another one in a minute. We have got grooming mitts, because not all cats enjoy the sharpness of a comb or a brush. They might find it a bit hard, but they enjoy being stroked, and these do collect a lot of hair, so that is really good. We do have combs in here. Now, the important thing to remember if you've used a comb is to leave the comb in the pen with the cat, sorry. Leave the comb in the pen with the cat, because it's then its own comb. If you take it out, it will have to be disinfected and washed. You cannot go from cat to cat to cat, because you could be spreading disease and infection. So it's best to keep everything separate. We've also got, here's another one, a different puzzle feeder, treat ball. You just pop the treats in and the cat has to knock the ball around, so that's a good one. What else we got in here? Some brushes. So again, these are all quite sharp, and so you may need advice on the right brush or comb for the type of cat fur you're dealing with, because some of the cat fur can be quite different and you don't want to be pulling and hurting the cat. So it's very important to have the right tool. Lots of balls, which are great fun. Cats always love a good ball. And we've got some soft toys, some mice, and these. And we did get donated lots of these funny fish, but you do need to charge them up. And sometimes I think they're a bit big for some of the cats, but they all love a little mouse. We do have soft toys. Sometimes we might have a cat that's lonely, feeling a bit sad, and so we give it something to snuggle up with. But also, if I can get one out, we have got a ball game, which especially the younger cats, they love patting it and kittens. So, you know, if you think, oh, they haven't got much in their run, we can go and get some extra toys. Did my magic. And we've got the towel ones as well. And I've got a cat at home that loves playing with this, even though she's nearly 3. So it's this enrichment. All the things, they don't want to be sitting there doing nothing all day long. Sometimes they like to have a little play. And if we've got very lively, friendly pussycats, we might use something like this, which then you can use. Pretend there's a feather on the end of this. You could wiggle and the cat can jump in and out. So there's lots of ways to enrich and play, which we can teach and show you and tell you where all the props are for playing. And if we run out, we can buy some more. We've got lots of these lovely ones, little sticks and feathers. So there's lots of information, so there's lots of things to use to help enrich the cats. So we can show you where they all are, and then we can teach you where to find and what works with certain cats. So you'll notice as you walk round, we've got some hand sanitizer, and obviously we all got used to using that a few years ago, didn't we? But it's important for us to do our hands. Don't need loads, just a little bit in between seeing the cats, so we're not just touching one cat, touching another cat, touching another cat, because we don't want to spread those pain mites. So it's a case of doing your hands, if you just use a little bit, that's all you need, letting it dry so that the smell has gone, and then see the next cat. Because if you do, your hands are sopping wet, they stink of the alcohol gel, and you go to see another cat, the cat's going to go, no, you smell funny. So that's there, and it's dotted around all the corridors so that you can do your hands. And you can always take one with you if you're spending a lot of time with cats outside. So you've got hand gel with you when you go. So, just to explain our volunteer enrichment record. So if you've been given your cats to see that day, what we're looking for are key points that either there's improvement if there's a cat that's having problems like it's not been eating much or hasn't been very happy, hasn't wanted to interact, and if there's some big improvement, suddenly the cat wants to get on your lap, wants to have a play, that's real positive information. Or things that you think would help us get the cat homed, because we have to update their web profiles on a regular basis, and as we get to know the cats more and more, we can put some more personal information on. So we use information that the previous owner has given us, but in regards to stray cats, we don't know anything about their background, so the more information we can have, the more we can make it a more personal profile for them that will get people to want to adopt them. So as you spend time with them, we don't need to know you sat there for 20 minutes, it was fine. We don't need to know that. We need to know positive remarks that you think, oh, it did this cute thing, or it did this, or it likes to stand up on its back legs and wave its feet in the air. We had a couple like that we called T-Rex cats, because they were doing that. So these little things, you may sound funny, but it will really help us home the cats, and at the end of the day, that's what we want. We don't want them to sit in our pens any longer than they need to. So any positive information that can help us find these cats' homes is brilliant for us. So your comments are really valuable. So please think about the sort of things that you could write on there. Okay? Thank you.
And if you could hear someone begging for some attention just then, that was Joey.
So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed our little run through for our enrichment induction. There will be a few little behaviour videos we'll ask you to watch that will talk about grooming, play, interacting with the cats, but they're only a few minutes long, and it comes from our behaviour team, so you have the best advice you can for when you're dealing with the cats in our care. And then once we know you're doing that and you're settled in, we will be able to talk about the desensitisation, the real cats that have the nervous qualities where they just want to back off, not sure what they want. We'll ask you to spend time with those, but we'll go through that on a separate video. So thank you ever so much. I hope you enjoy your volunteering experience, and we're very pleased to have you on board. Thank you.